Guys, next wipe is gonna be awesome with Streets update with all these teasers and including the roadmap. It tells that we're gonna have a bunch of amazing bosses and upgrades to the road camp, which is the Lexus right now, the car dealership area. But before that, we will need to optimize our PC to greet our wipe and also optimize our gaming time, decrease the loading screen time as much as possible so you guys can progress your wipe as fast as possible. So let's get on to it. This game is a loading screen simulator. Time you save yourself from the loading screen is the more time you will be actually playing the game. First of all, you gotta change your server settings. Stop using the automatic server selection. Select as much servers as possible that you can get, which will help you load into the race much faster. Of course, you will have high ping, but in the early wipe, I wouldn't say that's a big matter. Let's talk about other options that you can do to impact your game performance, which will decrease your loading screen simulator time and more game playing time. And also including better performance, which might even give you an access to the maps you haven't been able to go in, such as Streets of Tarkov and Lighthouse, which will have a huge benefit of you guys getting into that map because the newer map they release, the better loot they have, and also less traffic in those new maps because they didn't watch this video. Anyways, let's move on to the next topic. Do check out launcher's options. If you go to the right top corner of the launcher options, there are a bunch of stuff including logs, integrity check, and clear cache. Especially the logs are very important because you have a lot of logs stacked up because of this game having a bunch of bug codes popping in your game. Because of that, the size of the logs will be immense and also it will be lagging your game heavily. So I recommend you guys to just delete the logs. I wouldn't really recommend doing the integrity check because we're gonna have a bunch of updates as you can see on the left. Because of that, the integrity check might be needed after the wipe happens. So right now, prior to that, maybe don't care about it too much. Clearing cache, however, will be really helpful for you guys. Also, typical things, updating graphic drivers, optimizing your PC through certain programs. However, I can tell you this one though, you might still have lower FPS on Streets, especially on Streets and also on Lighthouse. I highly recommend to use XMP profile or DOCP to actually boost RAM speed up to max. If you don't have XMP profile or DOCP on, the speed of the RAM will be below 3600 even though your RAM has capability of 3600 MHz. I recommend you guys to have at least 3600 MHz, also 32 GB of total memory, which will help you play Streets of Tarkov and Lighthouse at least 60 FPS to 90 FPS, or if you have a good setup, even up to 120 FPS. This game is really heavily dependent on CPU and RAM rather than graphic card. As far as I experienced, XMP profile and DOCP had the most FPS boost ever, and also it's the easiest way. You just gotta go into the BIOS and turn on XMP profile. You might want to search up how to do it if you guys want to do it because everybody has a different setup with AMD or Intel, whatever the motherboard or RAM you're using. Some motherboards might not even support overclocking of the RAM. And also, you guys might wonder, using overclock on some devices will have a lot of defects. However, I've been using RAM overclock, which is XMP profile, for over a year and I have no issue about my PC. So I really recommend you guys to turn these on. If you guys want to check out more in-depth talk about what I do for the XMP profile, the RAM overclocking, do check out the video on the right top corner. Okay, now let's talk about the settings in the game itself. So the most important part, the graphic settings, is obviously the best with screen mod with full screen, but usually I stream and make YouTube videos, so I usually use borderless to manage a bunch of stuffs. And also, texture quality should be high if you have a good setup. However, medium and high doesn't have that much difference. So if you are aiming for better performance, medium is a good enough option. Shadow's quality, I don't really recommend using it. Shadow doesn't really matter in this game that much. I don't think shadow quality will affect your visuals that much to find out where the enemy's at. Overall visibility, obviously, if you have it higher, it will render further places. If you make it higher, if you make it smaller, it will render smaller spaces. But 1000 was enough to snipe the guys over 100 meters in my experience. And as far as I know, they've been fixing these NVIDIA DLSS and AMD FSR, which is a good option. If you guys don't have like the high-end PC setups, anti-aliasing is like a stair lookalike texture, and then if you use anti-aliasing, it smoothens those out. It actually really depends on what you want to use. If you use it off, it will look shittier, but it will give you like a little bit of performance. Resampling, I would recommend you guys to just turn it off. You can use downsampling, but I don't think it actually like helps out that much. So for all the HBAO and SSR anisotropic filtering, these all result in better graphics if you turn it on, but I recommend you to turn it off if you want the better performance. But if you use like per texture for anisotropic, I don't think it has too much cost on FPS, so I just turn it on per texture. And NVIDIA reflects low latency. I used to use on plus boost, but somehow the game has been showing me a bunch of tearing effects all of a sudden. It used to not have that issue, but after the recent update, it started to showing. So I've been using VSync. If you use VSync, you're gonna have a little bit of input lag, which is a nuisance for the FPS players. I think the most important part which affects the performance is gonna be the MEP streaming. The MEP streaming is, if you simply put, if the object is far away from you, the object won't be rendered in a high quality. But if you get closer, it will start rendering to high quality texture, as you can see in this clip. So I really recommend you guys use MEP streaming. All the other options that can be turned on or off, I would recommend you guys to just turn it off. The post effects, recommend you guys to use it if you guys want some vibrant colors, but I know a lot of people will be talking about it looks like Fortnite or whatever. If you want the moody feature of Tarkov, just turn every post effects off. But if you guys are wondering about my post effects, check out this is what I use. My eyes are old, I need some. Alright, so that was like a quick wrap up of what we can check in settings. I hope this helped you guys at least a little. Hope you guys enjoy the next wipe. I will make a full wipe guide video if you guys would love to watch it. Please do press that like button to help me out. Got some help from the video, and I'll be streaming on Twitch every day whenever the wipe happens. I'm gonna help some people out with the questions or play the game by myself so I can reach max fans reputation as a scav main and also rush flea market and also the max hideout and the scav cases. I'm gonna pump out some content. Do support me additionally through Patreon or join the membership and YouTube or the super thanks. I really appreciate it, guys. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next video. Hee boy, where you trying to go, huh? That shit, huh? Play that. Gonna kill him at the last moment. No way, man. I'm not gonna do this. Should I do it, guys? It's so sad, though. Should I do it? Yeah, of course I need to do it. Uh-huh.